Closing day in Texas, signing, funding, and your first 30 days, home buying step 12. By the time you reach this step, most of the heavy lifting is behind you. The negotiations are done, inspections and repairs are finished, financing and title are moving toward final approval. You can see the finish line, and that's exactly why this step matters. I've said parts of what follows in earlier episodes, but it bears repeating here, not because you weren't listening and not because I like hearing myself talk, but because mistakes at this stage are more expensive and harder to unwind. Closing day feels like the end, but in Texas, it's really a handoff point. Closing day is usually quiet, and that's intentional. Buyers often imagine a dramatic moment where everyone sits around a table and celebrates together. That's not how most Texas closings work. Buyers and sellers are typically scheduled at different times, sometimes on different days. You're not there to negotiate or revisit decisions. You're there to sign documents that reflect the decisions that were already made. If you've bought property in another state, this may feel unfamiliar. In some places, signing, closing, funding, and possession all happen at one sitting. Texas separates those steps on purpose. It reduces friction, limits conflict, and keeps the process moving even when small delays pop up. And one of the most important things to understand is that signing, funding, and possession are not the same thing. Signing is when you execute the paperwork. Funding is when the money is released and the transaction actually completes. Possession is when you get the keys and can legally move in. Keys come after funding, not after signing. If funding hasn't been confirmed, no one should be handing over access. That separation protects everyone involved. On closing day itself, the signing is usually straightforward. If you're prepared, it often takes 30 to 60 minutes. If it takes longer, that doesn't automatically mean something is wrong. Sometimes it just means you're asking the right questions. There is no prize for signing quickly. Ask until you understand what you're signing. Most buyers don't remember every document they sign, only that they signed a lot of them. That's normal. What matters is understanding the roles those documents play. Some transfer ownership, some create the loan, some handle the money. Your deed will be recorded with the county. Your loan documents establish your obligations. The closing disclosure shows how the numbers actually shake out. And yes, your loan will probably be sold later. That's normal. It doesn't change your obligations. If there is one document you should make a point to keep, it's your survey. Surveys are expensive to recreate and incredibly useful later when questions come up about boundaries, fences, easements, or additions. Keep a digital copy and a paper copy. Future you will be glad that you did. If you're using a home warranty, keep that paperwork handy as well. Not in a drawer where you'll forget about it, but somewhere where you can find it quickly. If a major system fails in the first few weeks, you don't want to be hunting for a phone number while the house is already uncomfortable. After closing, many buyers experience a strange emotional shift. The adrenaline fades and suddenly you notice every sound, every drip, every imperfection. That doesn't automatically mean something was hidden or misrepresented. In most cases, the things that feel like surprises were either visible during showings or noted in the inspection report. I've had buyers upset about things that were literally documented in black and white or obvious in person. The shift isn't about new problems, it's about ownership. When you go from shopping to owning, responsibility feels heavier. The right approach in the first 30 days is balance. Don't panic over minor issues, but don't ignore real ones either. Small problems that are addressed early usually stay small. Small problems that get deferred often become expensive ones, especially when you're talking about plumbing. If you discover something major that appears hidden, undisclosed, or misrepresented, that's when you raise the flag. Document it and address it early. Waiting months and hoping someone else fixes it rarely works in your favor. Another reality most buyers don't expect is the volume of mail that arrives after closing. You'll receive official-looking notices, warranty offers, insurance solicitations, refinance bait, and all kinds of urgent-sounding paperwork. Some of it's legitimate marketing. Some of it's garbage. Some of it's designed to scare you into paying for something you don't need. Some of it's straight-out scams. Slow down, read carefully. When in doubt, ask someone you trust before responding. One post-closing step that truly matters is filing your homestead exemption. In Texas, this is one of the most important protections and tax benefits available to homeowners, and it's usually your responsibility to file. Don't assume it happens automatically. File as soon as you're eligible and confirm the process with your local appraisal district's official guidance. And generally, your local CAD is happy to help you through this process. Don't be afraid to ask them for help. Closing day in Texas is not a victory lap. It's the transition from a guided process to real home ownership. When you understand what you're signing, what to keep, and how to approach the first 30 days, you avoid a lot of unnecessary stress. On the other side of this step, you should walk away knowing what closing day actually involves, how signing differs from funding and possession, what documents matter long-term, and how to handle the emotional and practical realities of early ownership without overreacting. In the next step, we'll talk about life after closing in a longer-term sense, maintenance rhythms, budgeting for repairs, and how to avoid becoming house poor once the excitement wears off.